Hello, ladies. Dawn LaRae here, getting set up for my Saturday live. First time doing this on a Saturday. I hope this is good for all of you. Just checking all the setups here, and then we're gonna dig in. Super excited about today because it's one of my favorite topics. Mindset, because it's where it all begins, ladies. And mindset could not be more critical than when we're midlife and we're thinking about a big change in our life, because we have so much that we have embedded in our thoughts over time that if we are not in control of those, aware of those, in control of those, it can be really difficult to make a shift. So we're really going to dig into mindset. Have some new content to share with you that I've not shared before. So I'm really, really super excited about that. All right, so we're going to dig in. So I'm sure you hear the word mindset a lot. And you might wonder even to yourself, what exactly is mindset? So today we're going to really dig into mindset because, as I said, I just feel like it is so critical for those of us who are thinking about a big change in our life. And it can really be crippling to make a big change if we're not in tune with and in control of our minds. Because, I don't know about you, but I find that my mind has this pesky habit of talking me out of big changes. And I suspect that can be true for you as well. And, there really can be so many reasons for it. And, we'll talk about a few of those reasons, but we each can have our own. We might be afraid, that we won't be successful if we make a new change in our career. We might be worried about what other people say. Family members, parents, friends, colleagues. We might feel like we don't have the energy and we talk ourselves out of it. It's too much work. We may have self-imposed monologues going through our brains of who we should be in our lives. And I'm just going to say right now, I don't know if I've shared this with y'all, but we need to stop shoulding on ourselves, right? We need to stop shoulding on ourselves. We get to decide what we do in our life and no one else. So ladies, we've many times in our talks together, we've talked about fears, we've talked about limiting beliefs, and they are real. They're absolutely real. And also, they can be managed. We can make conscious choice with actions to overcome them. All right? And let's remember, I've talked about this before, but I think it is so important. We all have neural pathways, right? And these neural pathways have been established over the course of our lifetimes. And as midlife women, there's a lot that's pre-established in there. And I like to think about them as grooves on a gravel road. So I don't know how many of you grew up on a gravel road, have driven on gravel roads, but if you have driven on gravel roads, you know that there are these grooves in the road that become established over time. And when you're driving on a gravel road, the easiest pathway for your tires is to stay in those grooves, right? They're pre-established. Let's follow the grooves, because when you don't, it kind of pulls. And that's why if we want to get out of those grooves, it takes focus, takes time, but it can be done. And with the focus and time, you can create new pathways. And they can become your new natural pathways. It takes time and focus. Yet, once we do that, there is a sense of freedom that comes because you chose that pathway. It's not because of what you were told by a boss. It's not because of what you were told by a parent, a teacher, a partner. We all have went through so many situations in our lifetime, lived in different environments, some healthy, some not, and all of these have influenced us. And what I want you to know is you have the right to choose your own pathway. It might be a complete U-turn for you. Okay? So ladies, this session, think of this session as your own personal navigation system that you are creating. We're going to dig in. All right, I got a few steps here I'm going to take you through. As always, grab some pen and paper and just get really ready to really think and process. And if you need to come back and watch the replay, please do. Sometimes it's a little easier to do that because you can pause and reflect. So the first step and the first point I want to bring forward to you is some mindset basics. And not only the basics, but also how your mindset impacts your body, okay? Our bodies are the recipients of our thoughts and our feelings. And if we're not conscious of our thoughts and feelings, we are just at the receiving end of whatever comes our way. And we always want to be in choice, ladies. We want to be in choice of our thoughts and feelings. And I'm not saying it's easy. Lord knows, and this talk is for myself too. It is not always easy. But there's a freedom that comes when you are in choice. All right, so I'm going to dig into some basics right now. And what we're going to talk about are two types of energy, catabolic and anabolic energy. And so this is really fascinating information, ladies. And I learned it when I went through my coach training at IPAC. And today I'm going to keep it super simple, okay? In IPAC, we take it to a whole nother level. And when I work with my clients, we dig into multiple levels of this. But for today, we're going to keep it super basic, talk about anabolic and catabolic, okay? So catabolic and anabolic energies in super simple terms. This is the response our bodies have in different situations and the effect to our bodies as a result of hormones that are developed in our bodies in our response. Okay, let me break it down. So catabolic energy. Catabolic energy is often associated with stressful situations, okay? And also I should add, or perceived stressful situation. It's just our body's natural response. And if we think back to the early years of civilization, it's basically if there was a potential threat to our life, like a bear attack, our bodies needed to respond quickly and with force. So it's a basic survival skill, and in certain situations, it is absolutely needed. Nowadays, less likely bear attacks, unless you enjoy going out in the wilderness and hiking and put yourself in those situations. But more likely, it might be a boss or a spouse or someone who is being critical, expressing disappointment in you. And our brains often will naturally have a catabolic response. And then what our bodies produce is catabolic hormones, and those are adrenaline and cortisol. Okay, so this happens so that our bodies can break down cells and tissues so that we then have the energy to push through the stress. Okay, so if we didn't have this kind of response in those situations, like a bear attack, we won't be able to push through it. And most of us, that kind of response can be effective and fine in the short term, but if your body is naturally reacting that way in the long term, it can be draining. It can impact your satisfaction in life. And how our brain works, if we have a catabolic response, it's really difficult to look past the stressor. So it's difficult to look past your boss being critical of you, questioning you. And as a result, we can't see the big picture in a situation. And then we can't see, oh, there is a choice for me. I don't see choices because I'm honed in on the threat. Okay? So that's catabolic. So now I want to talk about anabolic. Anabolic is the opposite. Okay, anabolic can feel more advantageous to us. It can feel more helpful to our brains because we're not experiencing stress. And when we're in anabolic mode, our body's releasing anabolic hormones, not catabolic. And we can think more clearly, we can see solutions, we can see options, we can be innovative, we can think big picture. And when we are in anabolic energy mode, there's less judgment, there's less fear in our lives. So as I said, ladies, these are just some of the basics here in IPAC and with my coaching. I take my clients through all 7 energy levels. And the idea behind this is to get back into choice. And in moments where it seems like a perceived threat, how can I access an anabolic energy if that makes sense in the moment, so that I'm not putting that strain on my body? Okay. Now I have a couple steps for you. Love you to grab some paper, grab a pen in this moment, because we're going to talk about anabolic moments. This is where I want you to get in touch with your flow, your mojo, okay? And this is important. The reason we want to do this is because I want you to better see in your life where the anabolic energy sits, so you can understand it and see it and know it, so that you can be a choice for it when it makes sense for you. All right, so first step, write down one situation, one moment in your life right now where you feel like you are in flow, okay? High flow situation. Everything is moving as it should, feels right, feels good. You see options, possibilities. Could be work, could be home, could be certain relationships, but whatever it is, everything is in the flow and you just feel good. So this is important because we want to bring these moments into focus so that you can acknowledge the thoughts, the feelings, and the actions that are associated with them. Okay? So once you have this moment written down, I want you to put a scale on it. Okay? We're going to scale from 1 to 10. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much anabolic energy does this moment or situation create in your life? A 1 means really, I might be in the flow here, but there's really no impact on the rest of my life. A 10, huge impact, highly impacting the rest of my life. It might be impacting family relationships, friendships, health, well-being, sleep, focus. But because of this flow situation in your life, it's having an impact on the rest of your life. So 1 being no impact, 10 being high impact. In doing this scaling, it really helps us bring this to life, make it real, to understand the impact of those moments on everything in our life. So now that you've scaled, if you could, ladies, write down all the ways that you see that this situation or moment is impacting you and others in your life that you care about. Okay? These might be thoughts, they might be feelings, actions. I just want you to write down all the ways that this is impacting your life and others' lives. Maybe the thoughts you have because of this are, wow, I'm really proud of myself. I'm proud of the work that I did here. And because of that, when I come home at night, I feel really good at the dinner table with my family. I don't feel so down. Okay, this is the type of thing that I'm looking for here. And this is important because what we're trying to do, ladies, is we're trying to look at the results that are coming from having this anabolic energy that you're experiencing from this flow situation in your life and how it can impact multiple areas of your life. Okay, ladies, we talked about anabolic, so now we got to talk about catabolic because it's real. So this step is getting real with our stressors, okay? And if we don't do this, we're keeping them under the surface and they are bubbling up, whether we like it or not. And so we can't do anything about them if we don't acknowledge them, okay? So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to write down what you see as the most stressful situation in your life right now, okay? What is that situation in your life that when you look at it, you feel like, yeah, this is really what's hitting me right now. This is where I'm feeling catabolic. Maybe you can even tell. You feel that adrenaline running or the cortisol because your heart's beating faster. You feel the anger, you feel the fear, you feel the frustration. You feel held back. So this is important because we want to acknowledge these situations because we can try and pretend our way through them, but they're going to like creep out in some way. Right, ladies? So once you have your most stressful moment, I want you to do a scaling on this. And the scale is, how stressful is this in your life? 1 being, I feel like it's contained and it's not impacting my life. 10 being, it really is impacting my life. It's impacting my family, my friends, my health, my well-being. I can't sleep. I can't focus. It's just this feeling that I constantly have that I can't get rid of. I'm proud of you, ladies, for getting this on paper. So important. Write it down. Don't be shy. Let's gauge the impact on the rest of our lives because I don't know about you, but I feel like we can be master rationalization people. We can rationalize, ladies. It is not good for our health. How many times have you said, I'm fine, it's fine, moving on? Okay, if that is not rationalization, I don't know what is. So let's move past that, ladies. Let's be real, okay? Let's not rationalize. Let's dig in and see what's under the surface, all right? All right, now that you have scaled your stressful situation, I want you to write down all the ways that this is impacting you and others in your life that you care about. Okay? All the ways that this stressful situation is impacting you and others in your life that you care about. Ladies, we got to own the stress. If we don't own it, we can't do anything about it. So let's just be real and not rationalize. Let's be in tune. Let's be in tune with what we're feeling under the surface. Okay? Let's not rationalize anymore. All right. I think back to, intuition. And being in tune with our intuition. It's just so important for us. And not just going day by day by day by day by day, going through the motions and not having time to reflect back and staying in touch with what's going on under the surface. All right, our next step, ladies, is we're going to do a little reflection. I want you to spend some time reflecting on your anabolic and catabolic energies in your life right now. And I want you to write down your most notable ahas that you had from the exercises that we went through. And what I've learned in my lifetime, over time, and especially in the last couple years, is how important it is for us to take time for reflection. And it's so important for our mindset, ladies. If we spend time in reflection, we can create a more intentional life for ourselves. And with that, we can be role models. We can be role models for our daughters, our granddaughters, our friends, our colleagues. Putting ourselves first and living an intentional life because we are in tune with ourselves. We're not rationalizing anymore. This is one of the reasons I'm such a big believer in coaching, and one of the reasons I went into this is because I believe it is so critical that we prioritize time for ourselves, to dig into our thoughts, to dig into our beliefs, to dig into our feelings and how these are impacting the course of our life. Ladies, coaching helps us bring intention to our lives and the lives that we're meant to live. You can hear my passion coming through, but I'm just such a believer of being in alignment with our true nature and not being talked out of it, not rationalizing it. Okay, ladies, the very last step, and always the last step, is making plans. What are going to be your action plans from our time together? What is one meaningful step? Just one. One meaningful step you can take in your life right now to be aware of your energy and to choose the energy you want in moments in your life. Because if we don't create a plan, even one step, ladies, we're not going to move it forward. We're not going to move forward everything you learned in our time together. And that's what I want for you. I want you to be in choice in your life. All right, we're going to wrap it up. I'm just going to summarize all the steps that we went through today in thinking about our mindset and being aware of and in choice of our energy. And why are we doing this, ladies? For us, for our health and well-being, and for those around us. Because Lord knows we have a lot of influence to a lot of people in our lives. All right, here's our recap. First step, we talked about mindset basics and the effects on our body. Anabolic and catabolic energy. Next, we got in touch with where in our lives we are in flow, where that anabolic energy is coming through. And then we got real with the stressors in our life and reflected on the catabolic moments that we might be experiencing. And then we took that into a reflection exercise of where we are experiencing anabolic and catabolic energy. And finally, we got our action plan started. And ladies, if you got one step written down, good for you. If you got more than that, wow, incredible. But one step is all we need to get the momentum towards the next step. Okay, ladies, that concludes our time together. And always, as a reminder to you, it is never too late. Okay? And if this resonates with you and you want more, maybe you're looking for a coach right now, don't be shy, reach out. Happy to just chat with you to see if this is something you might be interested in. And just want you to know I've truly enjoyed our time together and sending love your way on this Saturday. And hey, let's crush midlife together, okay? All right, take care, ladies. Bye.